Welcome back. Well, we're extremely lucky here in Tucson because the Arizona Theater Company continues to impress and innovate with their productions. The latest one is Outside Mullingar and marks the first show directed by new artistic director David Ivers, who joins us now with more. David, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Pleasure to see you. Welcome to Tucson, too.
Thanks.
Where were you before the old Pueblo?
We moved here from southern Utah, Cedar City, Utah, where I was running the Utah Shakespeare Festival, and was there for a while. And before that, we were in Denver. So we're making our way around the region.
You're making your way around, and you said you fell in love with Tucson.
Oh my gosh, yeah. My family, we really have. It's pretty stunning, you know,
Yeah.
both in terms of what it offers, just in terms of what the light looks like here, but. It's been pretty terrific the last few months. Being
Good.
here.
So I assume everyone's treating you well here.
So far, we'll see how this goes today. But yeah.
No, it's going to go great. So the show you're doing Outside Mullingar and about Irish culture, really. Tell us a little bit more about the story behind it.
Yeah, so it was written by John Patrick Shanley, who most viewers will probably know as the author of Moonstruck, the film, and it's a kind of quirky romantic comedy. It's about two families that have farms side by side in rural Ireland, and in the center of it's a love story that's kind of about the legacy of two families. There's a couple in there. The woman's in her sort of late 30s and man's in his mid 40s, and they've known each other their entire lives on farms next to each other. And it's sort of the journey after their parents pass on of the two of them and what they're going to find together. And it ends up having a sort of incredibly romantic and poetic journey and hilarious journey that finds them ultimately in a happy ending. And that's kind of a refreshing thing these days, to have a happy ending. So.
I agree. That's a good point. And, you know, people watching it, you know, the audience, I'm sure they're going to connect and relate a lot to these characters, which I imagine was part of the reason you selected it as your first play at ATC.
Yeah, it's a good point. I selected it because, one, there was some, as it was presented to me, there were just some constraints in terms of size and scale of productions that need to fit in the season, but it was immediately the first thing on my lips, and primarily because the writing of it is just so brilliant. It's kind of a masterfully written play. It embraces language in a way that feels classical, and yet it's entirely contemporary. It's rich with humor, and it's rich with well drawn out characters, and also is a great vehicle for four longtime collaborators that I've worked with for many, many years, who I brought to Arizona to join us in terms of the cast and some of the designers involved as well. So
that's great. So you're working with folks that you've worked with before, bringing the magic of all your past experience to ATC. And you mentioned some of the cast members. Tell us a little bit about them.
Yeah, so Robin Rodriguez, who plays Aoife, who's the mother, I've known since for 30 years, since I was in university, who's a sort of regular at the Oregon Shakespeare Festival. John Hutton, who plays the father. Tony Riley, I've done 30 or 40 productions with at Denver and across the country. Cassandra and Larry, who are the younger couple, I've worked with and hired at various theaters, and I just have great love for them. And it's actually, being in the rehearsal hall with them here sort of solidified this feeling real. Like I actually was here back in the rehearsal hall with people that I love, and getting a chance to introduce hopefully the kind of artistry that we're going to bring here to the company.
Absolutely, and we're seeing, you know, some footage from rehearsal there, and even just in that room, it really does look like it's rich in culture. It looks like they get along very well, and the chemistry, which is so important in plays, looks like it's really there even just from watching this video. So what do you see as the future of Arizona Theater Company? Because you're here in Tucson, you've been here for about 5 months now. We hope you're here a lot longer, but what do you see as the future of it?
I think the company has always had a rich legacy, but it won't be a surprise to many to know that there's been some ups and downs. And right now, all of our initiatives are aimed at engaging community in ways that the community hasn't been engaged necessarily before, innovative ways to do that, stabilizing the financial picture of the organization, and all of that with the baseline of our productions on stage have to be of the utmost excellence with the top tier artists in our field, and we're the company to do that. We offer the widest range of material produced and made by artisans that kind of buy bread at the same place as we do.
Right.
And so I want to make sure that we're kind of putting Arizona back in the Arizona Theater Company and connecting with community, all the while making sure that we are good stewards of our resources financially as well.
Well, certainly, I think under your artistic direction, it's going to get there. It's going to achieve all those things. It's going to be better than it ever was before. And of course, you're attracting all these great actors and all these great artists to come to our community and sort of put on these great performances. So it's going now through February.
It's February 10th here at the Temple of Music and Art in downtown Tucson, and then we move it up to Phoenix, and it'll be at the Herberger Center in Phoenix through the beginning of March.
Fantastic.
And get your tickets because it's thankfully selling really, really
Good.
well.
Selling like hotcakes. Well, David Ivers, welcome to Tucson. Thanks so much for joining us here today, and we look forward to seeing it.
Thanks, Alex. Appreciate it.
Our pleasure. Now, Outside Mullingar is playing through February 10th at the Temple of Music and Art, and for tickets or to learn more, visit arizonatheater.org or call 520-622-2823.